She stepped out of a painting, a work of art of you. Walking to me is amazing. I really admire you. Long as you here.
Hi babes, and welcome to the first ever YouTube video. So I don't want this to be too long, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. You see me fumbling around with this caked up acrylic at the bottom of this 2-piece acrylic dish. One side should be for dampen and then the other for your actual acrylic, but I usually just use 2 acrylics in here. As you can see, it's very old and has stuff caked up at the bottom, but it don't even matter. We still gonna use it. So I don't have the colors I need, so I'm creating them from pastels and clear acrylic. So first off, I grabbed my soft pastels palette. This is the Artist Lofts one, and you can get this anywhere at like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. They usually carry it. And so I'm just picking the 2 colors that I want. This green I really like because it's really close to seafoam, and that's technically my favorite color. But I decided not to use that one because I've noticed with the fur nails, it's better if you do a 2-color type of ombre design, which I'll show you more in depth as we get into the tutorial. So first off, I chose this lime green, and then I kind of wiped my hand off so I can swatch this olive dark green for you. And I thought those 2 would be really cute together instead of that, you know, blue or green. So I took those, put them to the side, and I'm gonna put this to the side and get into shaving my acrylics, not my acrylic, to shaving my pastels down. So I showed you in the beginning the razor kind of for a second, but you'll see it again in a moment. I just take the razor blade and really finely, this is so important because you don't want to get clumps, you don't want to get big pieces. You want to go really slow and you want to go really fine. You want to get it as tiny as possible. So I'm just doing that until I think I have enough for the design I'm trying to create, which really isn't too much. You'll see. So that was a dark green, and then I went in with the light green. After I do both of those 2, I grab my Mia Secret clear acrylic. Link will be in the description. And I just poured that in, took this little pointer. You could literally use anything to mix these 2 colors together. And just mix them until they were the right consistency. So then I put those down to the side. I grabbed this extra short square of Prey nail tip and filed off the shine so that it is just gritty enough to take the acrylic. Basically, you want to have a surface for it to stick to, and the shiny surface wouldn't be good. Then I took my Vanity Fair napkins, and I love these. I found them and they have seashells on them, so you know your mermaid was gonna cop these. So yeah, and these napkins are really good for table napkins in general, are really good for getting all the acrylic off of your brush. So that's the importance of the table napkin. Then I'm just taking everything and setting it up so that I can get right into this nail. I already had some monomer poured out. It's really a tiny amount because you don't need too much, especially since I'm just doing one nail. And I'm just gonna grab my brush after I set everything up. This is a number 2 Kolinsky brush that I got off of Amazon. Also link in bio description. And I'm just gonna get all of the bubbles out, tap my brush to the side, and pick up a bead to show you guys just what a bead looks like on this size brush. And for some reason, no matter how many times I tap my brush, like my beads were really wet. So it did take a little time for them to dry, but it's okay. And once again, I'm going to go into my monomer which is also Mia's secret, and get out all the little air bubbles. Tap my brush to the side and start with my darker green homemade acrylic. A very nice size bead. I would say for this brush, it's a medium sized bead. And I like to start at the top for this specific nail design just because we're gonna layer it. So starting from the top, I create this first bead. I'm patting it out, making it long and lengthy. I want it to hang over the edge of the tip, over the edge of the press one, but just not too much because this is going to be at the cuticle line. So you still want it to sit pretty flat and look seamless. Like I said, this bead was pretty wet, so I had ample amount of time to work with it. Just patting it down and getting it to a nice length with a little bit hanging over the edge. For this look, we're gonna vary from color to create a cute fur effect. So now I go in with the light green and I pretty much do the same thing. I'm gonna pat it down to a thin line like tube, I guess you could say, and get it to fall off that edge. For this one, I try to curve it so that they're not all straight, and it gives you that nice fur effect. I had to take a break, but came back. And now, since it's all dry, I can definitely go in on both sides. So what I'm going to be doing is going from side to side with the varying colors to make sure that whichever side I'm working on isn't wet and I don't mess up the previously laid strip. Since these are both fully dry, I could have started on whichever side, but I just went in again with that same light green, creating a strip-like bead and letting it hang off the free edge just a bit. The nails that I currently have on in this video are press-ons that I made. They are 3 weeks old. Yes, I said 3 weeks old, so excuse them. I honestly thought they were still giving. Like, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think they look as worn as I believe they do, or are they still, you know, first day cute? And just going back and forth, creating those long strip-like beads until we do the whole cuticle back area of this press on. The ends are very important because that's what's going to give you your real fur-like effect. So that's where I'm taking my most time on, is the ends. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm placing my middle finger on my pointer finger for stability when I do this. Sometimes it's my middle finger, sometimes it is actually my ring finger, but just to help me create stability while I lay the acrylic down. So they're not all straight. Some of them are curved, some of them are straight, some of them are wiggly, just to create that nice fur effect. Alternating side to side to ensure that the last piece is dried before laying a new piece of acrylic. Since I had finished the back, I'm starting to do my layer on top and go down the nail that way. This one specifically, once I started to get in the middle, I started to make them stick a little bit more straight up to make sure that 3D effect was definitely incorporated. You don't want them all to be flat to the surface. You want them to, you know, have a little space, come up and give what it's supposed to be giving. This is my first time doing a voiceover, so please excuse any awkwardness or, you know, teeth sucking or whatever. I definitely apologize in advance, guys. The amount of time this took me overall was probably a good 30-40 minutes for just this one nail, based off of how wet my beads were and how long it took to dry, how long I had to work with it, and to move on to the next layer. So all of those things were a factor. And of course, if this nail was longer, it would have taken me even longer. This is definitely a service that I would charge at least $20 per nail. Making sure I fill any holes and create depth between my layers by once again allowing some to stick up, some to go straight, some to be a little bit more wiggly, I guess you would describe it as. And with this bead, I had that one just go straight up, patting it on the sides to ensure that it stayed straight up until it was a little bit more dry. And there's a gap on the side over there. I'm gonna fill it in just a second. I'm just looking because I am totally in love with this. I think sweater nails are cool, but like, when do you see a fur nail? You don't. Okay? This that new-ish. And put somebody on, you know? I'm definitely gonna create another design like this because the one I did the first time, yeah, it was pretty dope, but Now that I'm getting into like mastering how to really get that fur look, the next set gonna go crazy. At the end, I'll insert a clip of the actual set of nails that I did when I first made these 3D fur nails. And definitely on the sides, like here, I'm trying to make sure that there is some hangover, but not too much that, you know, if your client was wearing these, it would be uncomfortable on the side walls of their nails. Yeah, that's a little gap piece I'm gonna fill in right there. And my stand is like right in front of me while I'm doing this, so I definitely hit it a couple times. Excuse the shaking. You see me also dabbing my brush off every time I pick up a bead, and that's just to get any excess monomer off of the brush so it's not too liquidy. I like it being a little liquidy because it gives me more time to shape and to mold the bead into the desired length and shape that I would like, but not extremely wet that is running all over the nail. That's just unproductive. So that is why you see me tap my brush before I lay it on the nail. And if I don't like the bead, I'll just wipe it off completely and grab another. You never feel like you're obligated to your first pickup. And so yeah, it's really coming together now, so I'm just gonna speed it up and, you know, and get to the good part. And as you guys can see, it's really starting to look like a fur nail now. So we're just gonna kind of speed through till we get to the end. So now I'm gonna start to get into the end pieces, and I like to do those first just so that I know that my coverage is good. And those pieces are going to be just like the top, but more elongated and definitely hanging off that free edge. The tips of these are really important because that's what's going to give it the most fur-like effect. And so for this last portion, we're literally just going to fill in these holes and make sure that all of our beads are somewhat sticking straight up. This was a huge bead I had laid down, so you're just gonna see me kind of working around that. And here I'm literally just adding some finishing touches, dark and light, just to make sure everything is looking seamless and really fur-like. And this is our finished product, matte and now gloss. Yes guys, it came out so good. It literally looks like fur on nails. So glad with the turnout. And I'll insert a clip of that first design where I left them matte. But thanks you guys for watching. If you made it all the way through, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.